You're listening to the Gettin Salty Experience podcast.
And with the way we go. What?
That was a new one.
Boom, boom,
Boom.
Boom.
We are back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen.
Has anybody seen this, man?
Has anybody seen that, man?
Oh my God, that's going right on the fan.
That'll be on the fan page tomorrow. Have at it. That was Pete. That was Pete doing some technical producer stuff before the show. What?
He had this face on like this.
Yeah,
he was like this.
They catch you in the right moment. These prick cack seconds.
Yeah.
All right.
Boom.
How's everybody do? Boom. Are you for
Beautiful.
Snuba? Boom.
All
This
right.
is how you do the yoga. Boom. Boom.
We are back. Welcome back to the Gettin Salty Experience podcast, the only one that brings back the kitchen table to you. Self-proclaimed best firefighter podcast in the world.
I believe it.
Yep.
I think we're gonna trade.
Wolfie.
We should trademark that for the next show.
I could trademark it. I know.
Yeah.
Trademark it.
LLC.
Yeah, do
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, best firefighter podcast in the world.
LLC.org.
LLC.
./.gov.
.gov.
Thought you pricks better subscribe. Let's go.
Yeah, come on. Let's do this.
Come on, we're at 17. We've been stuck in the 17s. Will somebody hit the button? Call your friend. Just tell him to hit the button. Even if he works, at the Blockbuster or whatever. Hey, listen, do me a favor. Subscribe to the show.
Holy shit.
I'm dating
All right.
myself.
So
All
we,
right,
had,
Grandpa.
we had a busy week this week.
We did. Pete, tell him about what was it, Tuesday?
It's Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Listen, people. We got to go to the Rock, and it blew my doors, man. I could not believe that facility. Forget, all right, yeah. You got your taxpayers and you burn buildings and you smoke. Okay, all right, yeah. It's a fire academy, dude. The collapse area where they train on collapses, the plane fuselages, they had like a mock-up ship and a port at one corner that we didn't walk by. Every form of apparatus known to man was hanging around there. Subway. It was literally a freaking subway. It was like,
and we didn't really see anybody important there either.
No, we only had an interview with.
Can I say this?
Goat.
Okay, first of all, we walked. I got a real great taste of the fire service culture. So I got to walk into the room with these two at the rescue school and right to the kitchen table, first stop of the day, of course. And who's sitting there when we're sitting there is freaking Chief of Department, Chief Richardson. And I'm sitting there like, and he's just hanging out with the guys. And I don't know, like, he's maybe the coolest dude on that level I've ever met. And Lou leans in on me and he's like, Pete, you see this guy right here? There ain't nobody higher than him. That's it. That's it. You see,
he's talking to you like he's talking to us. Like he's talking to ordering a hot dog.
You see the stars on his collar? You see
Five stars in the sky that night,
dude. And then we sat there and literally shot the shit.
And we had Chief Francis. Don't forget Chief Francis.
Of course.
Frank Lieb.
Frankie Lee.
Training.
Chief Downey.
2 stars. Chief Downey.
Yeah. Chief Frankie Lee, a rising star. He'll be chief of department one day. We'll be hugging another chief of department, roughly. You know what I mean?
I was hugging everybody.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was,
yeah.
And by the way, just a little tease, because I got to do it. Maybe one of the best interviews we've done. It was like I'm going to have to chop it down somehow to put it into the piece we're doing on the Rock, some miraculous way. But I think there's no way in hell I'm not going to do an unedited 20-minute.
No, it was good. I enjoyed myself on that one.
It was like, it was perfect. Like in terms of the.
Now we're going to be doing a part 2 when the Probies are out there. Unfortunately, we could not dress Petey up because he did not shave. So
I didn't know I was supposed to. Honestly,
we're
no one
going to
said
go
anything.
down there and we're going to do a part 2 when the Probies are there, and we're going to put Petey through PT. We're putting him through the whole Megillah.
We're probably not going to be able to put him into the burn. The smokehouse,
right?
But
yeah, they'll smoke.
We'll run them through some forcing doors and the
checking floors and forcing doors.
Yeah, searching rooms and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
That will be October. We'll be filming when the Probies come in October. I already got the okay from Chief Lieb. So we'll be going down there again in October. For
I just want to.
Part two.
Like the
Part
impression.
Two.
You know, I've gotten. I just want to say this as an outsider. I've gotten quite an impression of the fire service from you guys and our amazing guests, like LT, who's coming on tonight. But being at the Rock was surreal. It was another world. It was everything FDNY, the whole heart and soul, the culture, the patches, the memorials, everything has its purpose there. Every street is named after a fallen firefighter. You know, they even had a memorial to the Father's Day fire, which was, you know, built by one of your comrades there,
Tommy
right?
Bone.
Tommy Bone.
Yeah.
And
when do you think we might get that up? Before the end of the year? Or
yeah, well, listen, we'll probably get that out. It's a bear.
Hold on.
We shot so much that
there
day.
we go. What?
Hold on. Let me.
I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna probably get it out the week after next.
Staying calm there. He's staying pretty calm.
Yeah.
All right, listen.
It's
So
just a bear. It's an amazing.
Mike could be sleeping in the back there. Let's make sure he's.
He's alive. He's alive. Well, we gotta pay the bills though, real quick.
Okay, really quick. Get it out there.
All right,
Peter.
guys, everybody, you know the deal. Getting salty apparel.com. And you ask why? Because that's what men do. Men go and they buy a t-shirt such as this, or maybe the one that Mr. Kubies is wearing there. I don't know if you got a hat of ours on there, Roof, but you guys know the deal. Go to gettingsaltyapparel.com if you're interested in cool firefighter accessories and apparel. And guys, if you feel like throwing us a little something extra on the side, don't be scared. You know, hit us in the super chat tonight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And last but not least, guys, remember, please, for crying out loud, to like, subscribe, and share. That's how this show grows. That's how I don't even want to ask you guys to hit us off in the super chat. What I want to do is just have some awesome sponsors, right? And the only way for us to do that is if you hit the like, subscribe, and share button, and then we can do this.
Right.
I don't know, a bunch more, a lot more.
I heard. I saw old man Hanky Rivers in the chat. I heard he's going to throw a couple of his communion shekels on the money that he got from his communion. He's going to throw that in the super chat tonight. He's going to open up his wallet. The guy's going to squint. He's going to be like, holy shit, it's a light. Can't see the light. He's going to throw it on the super chat. All right, let's get to our guest, bro. You might know him as Mike Feiner, but I've been calling him Joe Feiner for the whole week. And he hasn't corrected me once. I don't know why.
No shit. Coop's called. He's like, he sends me things. He's like, here's the pictures for Joe Feiner.
Oh,
like,
Feiner. Who's Joe?
Bro.
My kid comes down and says, Dad, Joe Feiner's on the phone, Dad. Like, all right, we got a hard charger.
Shine box.
We got a hard charger from the 70s. Not only was he a hard charger in the war years on the FDNY, he was the NYPD at the Alamo, the 46th precinct, probably the most dangerous precinct in the history of the NYPD. Let's bring him in. Let's hear it for Joe, a.k.a. Mike Feiner. Woo!
Hey, there he is. Nice. He's buffing out.
Buffing.
Buffing out.
Looking
Wow.
good, LT. Looking good.
Well,
Was a little crusty.
Was your head in that thing at that time?
I just took it out of the oven.
You did.
I was
Nice.
going to say, don't cover up that hair, bro. Come on.
You got a little broil.
Oh, hey,
Whoa,
that's when they used to fit them for your head.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Cons. They'd
Yeah.
come and measure your fat head.
And they would, you could put your head down, it wouldn't fall off.
They used to
there was
measure
no
all
ratchet.
angles.
No ratchet, nothing like that. They would measure your head and stamp it on your head, right?
You know why they went to the newer helmets?
Mm.
Because some guys, when they got on a job, their heads got so big it didn't.
Hey!
Wow. Hey, Pete, before we get to that, we got to do a little word of the day, no?
Oh, yeah, but what is that word of the day? No
We
one
already
said
gave
it
it
to
to
me.
you.
We
It's-
gave it. The word of the
it's-
day is
Boom.
boom.
Ah!
Boom. So, Pete, you got to tell him real quick what was going on. Like, you were trying to hook up the Chrome for him, and he was going like this. Oh, I got it right now. Boom.
Boom.
And me and Coops could hear him talking to Pete through the thing. So that's why we went with the boom.
Okay,
Boom.
and here we go. I'm gonna copy and paste the link now. Boom. Oh no.
That's
Wait a minute. I'm not. I'm in the other. I'm in DuckDuckGo.
DuckDuckGo, hold on a minute.
No.
Oh, no.
Hold on a minute.
There
Okay,
we go.
wait. No. Now it says downloading Google Chrome. Boom. Okay. Boom.
He gave a bang in there too one time. I heard
Bang.
bang.
Bang in there.
Bang. It's your
Let's
boy
get
again.
right into Lieutenant Mike Feiner's career. Let's dive right in. What as you said, you were a Bronx kid, huh? You grew up in the Bronx?
No, Inward, Manhattan.
Yeah,
A lot of
Inward,
people
Bronx.
mistake it. Yeah, a lot of people mistake it for the Bronx.
All right, so you grew up in Manhattan. You have family on the job?
No, actually, you know what? My grandfather, my mother's father, was on in 1913, and he retired in 40 something. He had 30. He had 30 something years. Yeah, he worked at Lower Manhattan somewhere, and then he retired out of 81 engine.
1913. There were
81
horses
engine, huh?
back then, no? Horses?
Yes, they did. Actually, there was pictures. I should have sent you some of them. I don't know where they are. They're in the archives where they were changing over in 81 engine up on Bailey Avenue there. And supposedly all the guys were crying because they didn't want to lose the horses.
Horses, no shit.
Yeah, yeah. And that's another story, too. They say that the spiral staircases were so that the horses didn't
Yeah, that's
move.
exactly
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, Squad 18 still has their spiral staircase.
Bunch
Yes,
of-
they-
a bunch of
it's
places still
beautiful.
have it. Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful staircase.
All the old Manhattan
Yeah,
firehouses have it for the
yeah,
most part,
14
right?
engine.
Right. All right. So it's late 60s, early 70s. You're chilling. I don't know what kind of music you look. I don't know what you're doing, but it's back in the day.
Little Tootsie Roots, a little something here. 1, 2 for you.
1, 2 for you. So, so what makes you want to take the NYPD and the FDNY test? Give us a little build up to the.
Well, that's a good story. You talk about chilling. My one brother was taking it too. I have 5 older brothers.
Holy
And
shit.
I came from a family of 8 kids in a
Wow.
2-bedroom flat. My mother and father, God rest their souls, slept on a pull-out couch. I
Wow.
slept all night on a pull-out couch. I can't move for 3 weeks.
Yeah, no doubt
They had no
about
TV, that's for sure. With 18.
Leave that woman alone, would you?
Yeah, will you?
That's good
Anyway,
stuff.
he was trying to get me up because I was out on one of these things. Boom.
Hey, Stein, this guy knows.
This guy knows. He understands.
And I was like, I had too much. I was like, I'm not taking it. And so I missed that exam for the FD. And then about a week or 2 later, or whatever, they were banging out a PD exam. And the PD exam I managed to get to. And so that's where I got hired.
They must have had the PD exam like on a Tuesday.
Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah.
Now I got to show you boys. So this is the photo of this fine young gentleman, NYPD officer Mike Feiner.
Or Joe Feiner.
Is it Joe Feiner here who will tune you up?
Nice.
Wow.
He'll tune you up. This guy right here. You
Give us
know what I mean?
all right.
Look
Mike,
at him.
how old were you there?
22.
Whoa. Full of piss and
22.
vinegar.
That's a few years ago. Yeah, you bring back. I get chills looking at something like that. That was. I was 22.
All right. 22, you got hired in NYPD in 1973.
Yeah,
Assigned to the 4th-6th precinct, the Alamo.
yeah.
When I did a little research on the Alamo, they said the most dangerous precinct in the city. So give us a couple of stories, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe do a little this, a little that.
you know what? I could go on all night with that, but we don't want to. We want to stay fire. But we rolled into that precinct, and I got to tell you, that was I was a city kid, and I mean, I was used to bouncing around the city, but that was an eye opener there because you literally would get in a car with they had field training officers in the day, so they would get like a gold shield if you seen them, and they would take the young guys out and you'd ride around. You'd literally turn a corner and then you'd come back because you say something looked like it was going down on there, and you'd find 2 or 3 guys shot dead in the street in a heartbeat. The murder rate in that precinct alone, and it was a small precinct, rocked and rolled, and it was quite a harrowing time. Actually, I did a little anti-crime in the precinct too for a short while, which was interesting. And that was when they allowed to stop and frisk. It was the only way you got guns off the street too.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, I wouldn't let my dog be a friggin' a patrolman. But
Mike, what was it? Where is that exactly? I didn't look it up.
it's
Where
on
is it?
181 in Ryer Avenue. So it's like a block and a half, a short little triangle block off of the Grand Concourse there. And it took in up to Fordham Road. It went west over to, they rezoned it, but it went over west to the river, obviously, and then it stopped over at Webster. and it ran down to about Tremont, you know, and that's where it ended. But it was a bang bang for sure, you know. And I didn't get enough of my fill over there. So one night walking the dog going into a midnight, we lived in the Bronx at the time on 242nd and White Plains Road. My wife and I, we were just newly married. And I'm walking the dog. And the next thing I know, the cab driver pulls over and he starts screaming, help me, help me. And my dog was as crazy as bad shit. He would attack everyone. He was a German Shepherd. He didn't like anybody. And I was frightened. So the first thing I did was I let the dog go. I figured he's going to get me killed. And I went behind a car as if I ran away. And when I got behind that car, I give him, you know, hey, police, come out. So the one guy I have on the passenger, on the back seat towards the driver's side, I got him pinned. The other guy bails out of the car and starts going up Barnes Avenue towards Mount Vernon, because we were like a block off of Mount Vernon. Well, out of nowhere, the shadow, all of a sudden, boom, he gets hit. My dog.
Sorry.
Yeah, nice. Good one, Pete.
Go, you caught that. The dog caught him and nailed him.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it. He nailed him. All of a sudden, it was like, wow. And then I look, and now the other guy's trying to do, and then that dog, and it took forever to get the cops from the 4-7. Back in the day, that was a quiet precinct. And I corral him. The dog corralled him to the street. And from there, you know, I had 2 good collars out of that night.
What were they doing? They were robbing the cab
They
driver?
were robbing the cab. They had guns to the cab driver's head.
Did you have the pistola on you?
Yeah, no gunshots were exchanged.
No, did you have your pistola on you?
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you were supposed to carry your gun 24/7. They relinquished that because I guess there was too much, guys.
Shenanigans.
Yeah.
That was a 38 special, that old
that's what it was.
that old wheel gun back then, yeah.
5 shot, short nose, yeah.
Holy crap, man.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know, you were always outgunned. And so, I mean, again, I could go on with just stories and stories, but the one I will relay is the one where actually that was the start of the bulletproof vest campaign. They were not bulletproof vests at the time, but this cop, he was a transit cop. They used to be separate departments, and he was on 173 in Jerome there, and there he is, William Winder, and he was alone, and someone came up to him and told him there was a stick up or a disturbance in the bar, so he drops down the platform, and these guys blasted him with a shotgun.
Holy shit.
And fortunately, he was a Vietnam vet, so he had a vest on. He had his own vest. And back in the day, you had to have some balls to be riding the train alone, and them guys rode alone. And when we got there,
That's crazy.
Yeah, when we got there was a whole commotion, and we didn't know what was going on. But then we realized he was laying across like a restaurant that was on the corner there of Jerome and 173, and we scooped him up. I was a pretty big boy back then, and I grabbed him. And my partner, Pete Castillo, he started driving. We got blocked in because all the cars on the 1013, they come flying in, and he drove up the sidewalk. And as he was doing that, he was going out of the picture. And don't ask me how I came to realize to do that. And that's one of the fortunate things. I always was very lucky in life to be able to, get snap thoughts to come right away. He was going. And so what I did was I pulled the old Bic pen, and because he had gurgling here and whatever, and I stuck the Bic pen after I pulled that out.
Because he traked him. You have to do that.
Yeah, I did. Actually, it saved him from being. He wasn't breathing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So
what happened?
Give him a open airway.
That's all I did. Right. I took the insert of the pen out, and then you could hear, through the neck area. Right. Because everything was all broken.
I'm out. I got it. Wait a minute. I'm out. So you got this guy in the car. You take
He's dying in my arms. He's dying in my arms.
You take the pen and you jab it in his throat, and you give him a tracheotomy with a big pen. I thought that only happened in the movies.
That was
no, that's a real thing.
That's a real deal. That's a real deal.
You can also
I don't know that I would have.
You can also do a decompression with a big pen too, if it's a lung issue and it's overfilling.
Right. if you're
You know what it
you're
was?
getting a
Listen,
collapsed lung.
It was a choice of
Yeah,
do
boy.
nothing or do something, and it was just like
Wow.
boom, you know. And I had that happen.
Boom. It was boom.
There's boom again.
Hey,
Hey, someone's blowing at
we're
this.
gonna get
We're
hammered
gonna get
tonight,
bombed
Mike.
is what we're
God,
gonna get.
please, easy.
So you
easy.
take the pen and you stick the pen in his
I
throat.
had a little knife, and I opened up where all the blood was coming through there, gurgling just a little bit, and then pushed the pen in.
Yeah,
Just a little bit, because it was all like here, right in here. You could just see it.
Holy shit!
It was all
Like this, like this,
You-
like
that's
two big
real
ones
deal,
like this.
and I don't want to get too long-winded on this, but they had a whole big thing where they had an interview, and that's when I found out that the press were no good, because the whole time that I talked down there at a conference with them, and it was at the transit headquarters, because again they were separate police, so they gave me some kind of award. I got all that crap around somewhere, and the press had like an hour interview, and out of that hour interview, they put 2 minutes. And I was so anti-vest at the time, because I said, why don't we just put us all in glass bubbles? You know, I said, the problem is that justice isn't harsh and swift.
Right.
You know, what are you going to keep isolating us? And again, I wouldn't want to be a cop today. I don't know how they do it. I mean, now they get pissed on, thrown at,
Yeah.
you know.
Side note: my son took the NYPD test today.
No, God, no, I'm sorry to hear that. If you're for real.
Yeah.
No, he's for real. He just
So-
wants some to have options. It's all right.
So this guy survives, right?
Yes, thank God. Yeah.
And he goes on to live a normal life. So you saved the guy's life by jamming a big pen in his
Well,
throat.
I don't know, but let's put it this way: he started getting air in there. You know, I'm not going to say but the action definitely did alleviate his.
Did you get anything for that, Mike? I mean, did you get it?
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I got all sorts of stupid medals from
Right.
the PD too.
Is he still alive? Is he still around?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Wow. You talk to him?
I haven't spoken to him in
Wow.
years. He's 70. He's a few years older than me.
shit.
I just turned 70. Yeah, again, he's
Paging Dr. Feiner. Paging Dr. Feiner.
Yeah.
well, you know what? I'll tell you another funny story too, if you got a quick second here.
Yeah, we got
go for
40
it.
seconds.
We got
Hey,
seconds,
that's
bro.
what we do.
Stories like this. I'll stay here till 2 in the morning with stories like this.
Well, this
Jabbing people
is
like this.
one with a kid that got crushed in between the elevator wall. You know, he was riding it, and I guess he got jammed. So we were able to get him out of there. But before we removed him out, I turned to some woman on the landing, and I forget what street it was on, but somewhere Crescent or one of them. And we get the elevator finally. But before we removed him, I got a woman to get the ironing board. I said, anyone got an ironing board? She had an ironing board because the ambulance was slow as shit back then. That's a whole other story too. But and then we strapped him with our belts.
Yeah,
we strapped him with our belts, and we threw him in the radio car. And supposedly that saved him from being
shit.
paralyzed and whatever.
Quick thinker.
Yeah, yeah.
Here's a
And
fast
again,
think of that Mike, that Joe Feiner.
yeah.
Hey,
Unfortunately, I'll take a toast to that. My brother Joe passed away about 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh,
But
sorry.
that's okay. I'm proud to be called Joe.
You know what, Mike? You were perfect for a cop in the Bronx during those, because were you the youngest of 5 brothers?
I was the youngest of the guys. I slept with my 5 older brothers on Army surplus.
Well,
bunk
you were
beds
used to
in
getting the
one
shit kicked out of you on a regular basis, right? So
You know what though? You know what though? You're right. And what don't kill you makes you stronger. And then after I started getting a little older and whatever, they
A
said,
little bigger.
don't mess with Iggy.
that was me, man. I'm the youngest of 7, so I got the shit kicked out of me on a daily basis. Ruffy knows.
No.
On a daily basis.
not for nothing. I'm not fucking with this guy right here in the picture. No way.
Oh man, I
can't-
tell you what.
You're 22 in this picture. Kids at 20, guys at 22 right now are eating Tide
Yeah, they
Pods
look like
and
babies. Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No. I got up to listen, I'm up at that weight now, but that weight was pure muscle.
Wow. Savage. I love it, man. I
Yeah.
love it.
That was pure
Wow,
muscle back.
All right,
in
so
the day.
before you got any other PD stories before we go to the FD? Because I could sit here all night and talk about.
Oh no, I could go on with PD, but we could get too long-winded with it.
I mean, I just out of curiosity, right? Just to separate. I listen. The cops don't have an easy job today. You didn't have an easy job back then.
No.
Cops never have an easy job, brother.
No.
So when you first walked into Apache, right?
Alamo.
I'm sorry. Alamo.
Actually,
My
the
bad.
Apache was a dead precinct at that time. Everything had all burnt out, so that's why it was moving up that way.
Yeah, I kept
Yeah.
thinking Apache because we initially messed that up. But sorry, Alamo. And you said that was a whole different world. What do you mean by that? Like in terms of like on an average day as a cop, what did people see there? On an average Tuesday.
Well, again, now I don't know what you're dealing with today. We're talking a long time ago, but we were doing probably 15 to 20 runs a night, and it was just bombarded with bullshit. But every once in a while, you get hit with some nasty bullshit too, and sometimes you were happy to get like a DOA to sit on or something because it would
because you weren't running
your ass off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so if you got a scene to where, you know, and back to the ambulance type thing, back in the day, the ambulances, if you remember them, they were just gray wagons that were guys that couldn't do shit. They didn't know nothing. They just cleaned.
Right.
And so actually, I learned at a time that you just packed a little bit of some kind of wine that some of these ambulance drivers like, because you'd say, he's still alive. If you didn't want to get stuck on a DOA, and they go, oh, yeah. And then you'd slip a bottle of wine and they'd off them to Fordham Hospital. Fordham Hospital was a hellhole, too. Fordham Hospital was buried up in the back, and it looked like something out of cuckoo's nest.
So let me ask you this quick, Mike. I'm sorry, Coops. Just I always ask this all the time because guys say to me, what would you rather do? Like, why would you rather be a fireman or a cop? I say I'd rather run into burning buildings than chase somebody in the backyard, you know, with a gun. Like, what could you say? You did both. What was the difference for you running into a burning building as opposed to chasing somebody with a gun that ran into a dark alley? Like, you know what? I got to tell you, I love both because it was just the thrill of excitement, you know. And especially when you knew, and that's the beauty of the fire department. Well, the fire department is a whole different animal. The reason I left the PD was really my wife, and I get it. The PD job, whether you want to admit it or not, it changes you because you just don't trust anyone.
Mm-hmm.
You start to become a bit of like a real hard ass, and your whole demeanor changes. And then back in the day there, you used to work 4 to 12, 8 to 4, 4 to 12, 4 to 12, midnight, rotating all the time. You didn't have mutuals, you didn't have things, and you really didn't trust a lot of people back in that time too. Even though there was like 400 cops in that precinct, it wasn't like the fire department where you rolled into a quarters and you could laugh and have good. You'd have your jokes and stuff, but you got to remember too that the NAP commission just finished, so everybody really didn't trust anyone. When you got new to the precinct, there, guys were kind of like, okay, who is this guy? You know, and where did he come from? And you know, is he part of IAD and shit like that?
Right.
You know,
well, again, not to go into too much with that, but I agree, and that's why I say when you see these cops, and I'm not saying right or wrong, whether you know, there's each case is totally different. But you don't know what that guy did and how much time he has on the job. You know, you see a 15-second snippet of a video, and everybody's jumping all over the guy. Again, I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just saying you got to take into account that what that guy has done. You know, what his 24 was, because I know just even in the fire department, you know, your demeanor changes when you first come in, and you know what you deal with throughout the day and throughout the years, and you know exactly what you said to your point.
You just, you know what, you can't equate it. And listen, it's like trying to explain. You guys are firemen, you know that it rotates, it changes. You can't tell me, oh, I would have done this.
Right.
What did you do then?
Right.
You know? And so especially with the element, and you're talking about, you know, I'll relay a story here again with the PD. And again, I'm trying not to get too, because I could go on all night with it. But there was a time when we rolled into a guy, he probably weighed 110 pounds soaking wet. And he was slight build, and he was fired up. He was probably on crack or some shit, you know, and he was whacked out. And we're in there, and there's like 8 of us, pretty big cops.
Trying to get this guy down.
And we can't get this guy. And we're bouncing off the walls with him on Valentine Avenue there.
Right.
And it was like and think of this here. It's like a rabid dog.
Yeah,
and
right.
this guy had like super strength. Now I come up behind him, which was a legal move at the time, and I put the chokehold with the nightstick, and I got him. once you get him in the neck, you're done. I cut off his airway, but I cut off a little too much of his airway. I said, oh,
Wait. This may be the wait, hold on a second.
Allegedly.
This may be the best quote that's ever been said on our show. Hold on a second. Hold on. You know, I cut off his airway, but maybe I cut off a little too much of his airway.
Moose, Rocco, help me try to check.
you know, really though, once you take a guy's airway out, you know, you see
It's
that
bad.
thing they tap out. You know,
Yeah.
he tapped out because I almost killed the bastard.
put
Can't
my-
breathe, you can't fight.
I put
Yeah.
a guy did not tap yesterday morning in jiu-jitsu, and he went to bed on me, and it was sad. He was gurgling. He was just like,
That's what this guy did.
You didn't have to take. You didn't have to take a
Little
pen. And you didn't have to take a
I
pen and
didn't
put it
have
in
to
his
take a
throat.
pen.
did you?
No, I wasn't doing that. I was out on that.
All right, let's move it on. Let's go.
Yes.
All right,
That
I
was
just want to
amazing.
ask you one PD question. One.
Yes.
You're on. Were you there? I mean, what was Son of Sam? 77, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Were you there during that time?
That's what helped get me hired back was the Son of Sam. You know,
You got
because I got laid off.
in
75.
75, you got laid off, and they
Yeah.
hired you back in 77.
Yeah, early 77. Right.
Right.
It was a little less than, and that's what they were starting to bring cops back on, because Abe Beam was the mayor at the time, and he was going to hire all the cops, but he forgot to tell people he was going to hire them to sell pencils on the corner.
If you guys understand that.
He laid off 5,000 cops and like 3,000 firemen or whatever.
Yeah.
But bing, like that. And
Boom.
the fireman took. I didn't say boom. I said bing.
I said boom.
I know he did it. He did it because you son of a bitch. I know what you're up to.
So you got the Son of Sam running around, so they hire more cops.
Oh yeah, because everyone was up in arms. They were screaming.
Right.
You know, I mean that was that. If you remember back then, I don't know if you remembered it. That freaked the shit out of everybody.
Yep.
They're asking in the in the chat if the Son of Sam was your hook.
Well, that's another good story though, because now they bring these guys back to the academy for like a short briefer, you know, because the academy was 6 months in a day, but they bring us back, and I forget, it was for a couple of weeks. Well, you imagine hiring a bunch of cops that have been on the street and they're bringing them back to the police academy.
Especially where you walk, for God's sake.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you were in.
What did you do for the 2 years that you were laid off, Mike?
Oh, that's a good. You know what? They unemployment wasn't allowed at the time because work was hard to get. So they made it an emergency contingent to get unemployment. And so we were able to get unemployment. I think it was $99 a week. And fortunately, my wife was working for the phone company, and we had no children at the time. We were living in an apartment in the Bronx that was $135 a month. So we were able to swing it. So basically, I was going to the gym and working out.
Yeah, nice.
But then I went and got a job though with 7-Up in the South Bronx. There,
What about the male stripper thing at night? We were bringing in.
that never took off.
Swing and a miss, he struck him out.
Oh shoot!
All right, so let's get into the fire. Let me ask you a question. So, as you're a cop in the Bronx, South Bronx, right? You see all the fire going on, right? I mean, you have to see what's going on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
And believe me, I didn't run into them too easy. A couple of guys did, and they didn't do too well. You know, they got overcome and shit. But I said, I don't know enough about this, but I'd like to do it. And it's funny because you say now, when I made that transfer in '79, obviously I was pretty well liked in the precinct because I had the lieutenant who was on my tour and a bunch of guys tell me, "Are you crazy? Stay with us," because the war bombs fire had just hit.
Right.
So they were like, "Them guys drop like flies over there. What the fuck are you thinking?" They're saying, you know.
Shit.
And so they tried to talk me out of going, you know. But
so you get the call in '79. Yeah. When did you retake the test? Because you were drunk.
Well. That's another funny story.
Hit it! Come on, let's
We're
do
going
this.
over. We're going
We're
over.
going in.
That's a funny story. No, I got to tell this story because that's a funny story. We had the test was on a Saturday. I'm working in the 4-6 precinct with my partner Pete. We take a lunch hour, and I shoot up to Clinton High School with the radio car. I throw a thing on over my uniform so that I'm covered, go up there, take the test real quick, and I'm done with it. And the proctor system, you can't leave. And I says, I'm out of here. I got to go because I was on my meal hour. And she goes, you can't leave. So I open up. I said, lady, you want to get arrested? And I left. I was on duty when I took the test.
Nice. Allegedly.
No, allegedly true.
Hey, what is you got that under control, Pete?
Yeah, don't worry about it. You know what? I keep blocking him and he keeps coming back. So I don't know what else.
How could he keep coming back?
I don't know.
Huh.
It's an interesting one tonight.
Who's that?
That's I don't know.
Some shit.
Some asshole.
All right, so you get called in '79, right? You get on the job in '79, and how long was Proby School then? Let's see.
Well, I went on in April 7th, '79, and
Right.
I got appointed in May. So it was a month, May 19th, '79.
Right.
To 14 engine, and I could have went up to where I wanted to go. I wanted to go up to 59 truck because I said, "Oh, that's a good spot." I used to go in there with the radio call once in a while, to get a respite from the madness. And I said, "Oh, this is a nice spot," and I liked the whole atmosphere of it.
Right.
The difference, you could just, you had to be an idiot not to see it.
Mm-hmm.
You walked into a firehouse, and it was like a family.
Yeah.
You just had that comfortable
Good
feeling.
vibe.
Yeah. That I was like, you know what? I could do this. And so Tommy Riley was going to put me down. Tommy Riley was the treasurer at the time, and he had a lot of connections, and I knew him as a kid. And he said, I'll get you anywhere you want, Mike. And I said, you know what, Tommy? Let fate take its course, and I ended up in 14. And that wasn't bad. It was interesting. And there was a couple of scary fires down there,
Right.
but it was a lot of running though with the bullshit iron fireman going off all the time.
Where was he? Where was 14 engine? That's
14 was in 18th Street between 5th and Broadway.
I think that's where Ronnie Geese was, right? 14 engine.
You know what? I'm not 100% sure on that.
Yeah. Yep.
I think I worked there once.
Yeah.
14 engine, nice little firehouse,
Right.
It was a clean shop. And there was a lot of guys that were senior guys down there. Real old timers that back in the day, they were before the mass, if you caught something, they were dragging you out and putting new bodies in, that type of deal. And they had only, that they were fortunate because they went to the right section, but that was where that collapse killed the 12 firemen.
Right.
That was their first due area.
Wow. Yep.
I say that all the time, man. I'd rather run it to burn. When you give me get down there in the triple sub cellar, I'm out.
Oh no! You get lost in them places in the daytime.
Oh my God! Yeah, right.
Come in here. Give me an H-type building any day.
Yeah, no doubt. Exactly.
Yeah. Yep. So you didn't spend that much time down there, right? So
no, I wanted to get out.
I
wanted to get out. You know what happened? I was up in Inwood in the bar one night, and I was getting out anyway. And Jerry Frisbee, God rest his soul, he was an old friend of mine. We went to high school together. He says, why don't you come uptown? This and that. And I says, Jerry, I am. I'm working on it. I want to get up to the Bronx. Because he was telling me to go up to Harlem, and I was like, no, I got my spot picked. I know right where I want to go, and I could have went to 59 right away, but that was another story too, because Frank Pampalone was a lieutenant in 59, and him and Riley worked together as firemen. And I knew Riley was jabbing him with, I'm going to put whoever I want in there. And what happened was Wineline was a fireman.
Oh, shit.
Who slid the floor. And I said, I'm not getting involved in this pissing contest. Just let me go to 43. If they like me, I'll slide the floor.
Yeah, right.
And that's what I did.
That could happen. So, it happened pretty fast.
And that was funny, too, because now I'm working. Frank Pampalone was, a lot of guys didn't like him. I loved him because he was a crotchety old dude, but he was good as shit. He knew his stuff. And I'm in this swap sink cleaning up, this and that. And he knew my history and everything. And he's leaning out over one time and he's going,
Cops.
Why didn't you come here? Why do you do this way? And he's all of a sudden. So I says, Lou, I said, Lou, I says, I'm busy trying to clean here. and I lay into him, you know, all nice. And I says, and he says, what do you keep calling me lieutenant for? You know that these guys break my. I says, my father taught me two things. He taught me to respect authority and to respect my elders. Fuck you.
They had some heavy hit. You know what? Well, since we've been doing the show, I didn't realize how many guys come out of 59 truck. I just actually played with Calamari. I played with the Squid.
Now there you go. Squiddy was there. Now here's another funny part of that. You talk about that. I'm in the sink in the kitchen one night, and I'm doing the dishes and cleaning up, you know, and that's one thing I always, you know, especially new in a place. I don't give a shit what kind of age or time. Shut your mouth, pay attention. I had 5 older brothers. I knew enough to wait for your time to break balls. And so I'm in there, and John Williamson comes over to me, God rest his soul, another guy murdered on 9/11. And he says, you know, Mike, he says, why aren't you studying? You know, he says, do you look around you here? This place ain't going to be the same. And I look around, I go, you know what? You're right. And he was my 24 partner. So he really got me fired into studying. And we would switch on tours, and he would go make 20 questions, and I'll make 20 questions. We'll meet up in the hose tower, and we would switch the questions back and forth. So we were going over our answers and stuff. And then, you know, I just got progressively, and guys, I started late doing it, you know, like 6 months before the exam, and guys started breaking my shoes. I actually wrote third highest mark in that house, and I think 30 guys got promoted out of the house. Wow. I used to tell Wineline that the only reason he went up faster than me is because I got tired of studying.
So how long you're not even in 43 that long. You're only there for about a year, right?
Yeah, and then I went over to the truck. I wanted to go to the truck. That was, you know, I wanted to do the truck work. And believe me, I respect engine completely, but truck work, you got to kind of, you know, think on your own. Right. You know, you got to kind of really, especially, and anyone who's a fireman knows that the floor above is as tough a job as can be, except for maybe the nozzle on a real bad job. And that floor above, man, you better be on your game going above there, because if you're not, you got no business.
Quick question for you from the chat from Patty Lee. Sorry to interrupt you, Kev. Just because Lou wanted me to get this in a minute ago. Did Mike know Greg Jensen, Jimmy McKay, and Kevin Flanagan?
Every one of them. Oh, of course. Yeah.
Nice.
Every one of them. All great guys, though.
Yeah. All right. Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. And let's see now. Well, now there you go. Ironically, added at 3, only one of them didn't get promoted.
Huh.
Yeah, Greg. Don't tell anyone I said that.
Oh, tell them what?
A couple thousand are probably going to know now, but it's all right.
Mamma mia.
Yeah. So did you catch any jobs on the knob while you were in 43?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And there's some interesting ones there. You know, a lot of them started becoming vacant or half and half, you know. And so the vacant ones were interesting, but the occupied ones were much more of a challenge, because the vacant ones kind of vented themselves to a good degree, you know. So you always had that window that you saw. And you started losing that in later years, which I'm sure we'll talk about, you know, where that smoke just went from what was burning and the amount of everything being insulated now, you know, with the windows better and all of that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we caught some good work. You know, I don't remember anything major offhand. I remember working with Jimmy Brown Eyes, who was a lieutenant there. And he was a piece of work, because there were times that they were like, get out of the building, and he'd turn the radio off, you know, because
allegedly
turn the radio off.
Like, I hope. And one time we're in a place where actually 44 Bucket flipped over because they were on the wall of this place called the Castle, and we're in there, and we got one thing here, one thing there, and all of a sudden you. The whole thing, you look in, there was a cavern down there, and he don't want to leave the building still. There's wildfire over in this section, you know, because it was one of them big, huge ass buildings.
No shit.
Were you using masks at that time, Mike, or was it hit and miss?
Well, we were, but you kind of like, you know what I mean? You did and you didn't. And we used to do, I guess, maskless days, don't ask me why, But,
maskless Tuesdays.
Yeah, but it was like, you really didn't use it much. And a matter of fact, talking about that, I know guys blasted me a couple of times, but I thought it was important to do. As a boss, when it wasn't much smoke, I used to tell guys, because they started to become so mask reliant, which is not a bad thing, but you need to have the understanding of that mask is not infallible. And so if it fouls, what are you going to do? And so I used to make guys, when it was like a compact or something, remove the mask and take a little bit of a hit. And if it's bothering you, what do? Put your turn,
cover up, get low,
drop to the floor and suck some water. Just little things, because. And guys used to, I know I'm not going to mention names of guys, but that's not right. And I'd be like, you know what? What happens if that mask fouls? And now what is he going to do?
You run out of air.
All of a sudden, whatever. And so you have no concept of what is transpiring now. You don't have a grasp of it. It's kind of like jumping in the water and not knowing how to swim, And so I looked at it that way.
I would agree with that. I mean, in the end, you have to take a little bit of smoke. I mean, you don't want to be doing that, all the time, but
I understand.
Especially with the way the plastics were now, and that was the big thing too, right?
Listen, I get it, and I mean,
I agree. I agree with you.
But you
because if you panic, once your mask sucks to your face, if you panic, then what, right? If you've never gone through it, or if you've never tried to practice it, or
exactly,
you can realize how much air you can get by keeping your face an inch below at the ground, right?
Or if you need a nozzle, you can
suck air there, right? So you need to go through all those scenarios.
By the nozzle,
I agree.
Yeah. So I think that concept has been lost because of whatever, and I think that's a shame in a way, because you should have an understanding of what do you do if, you know what I mean? You always have to have a bailout option.
Right.
You got parachutes that have,
Yes, 3 different parachutes, right? Exactly. Yeah. That's the same thing with the camera, right? I mean, guys start to rely on the camera so much, and then you get deep, and then the battery.
I've seen that in the beginning. A Rescue 3 rolled in there, and Ralphie T says, "We got it over here. We got it over here." And I'm going, "No, it's all over here." What you're seeing there, I'm sure is there, but it was all traveling in a taxpayer over in the other section, And I'm like, you're relying on, you got your head in that camera, and you're not really.
Yeah, I was going to say that about the camera. You rely on the camera. What happens when the camera shits to bed?
Well, that too. But also the big picture of what's going on really all around too. The camera, don't get me wrong, tools are great, but tools are not infallible. Period.
You can using a tool, and then boom. All of a sudden, it don't work.
Well, you laugh. There you go. I like
Thanks,
that.
Kev. Thanks for messing with me when I got the nuclear explosions in the chat. I appreciate it.
Well, we were on the floor.
You're doing a fine job.
We were on the floor above one time with a couple of guys in 44, and we're forcing the door, and they got the rabbit tool. And I says, get an off door first, because it was that shitty. We came in second due to 19 truck. And it was an old lord tenement and not much room in there. And I said, get an off door here. We'll get in this apartment, get an off door. So we get the off door. After we get the off door, we start to go for the door. And the guy puts the rabbit tool down. He can't find it, because it's that shitty up there. He can't find it. I says, forget about it. Get the fucking irons. We have iron still, and it was kind of like, and it was like a scramble, and I was like, oh my God. So later on, I was like, you can't do that. That thing is married to you. And if you can't go secondary, what could he?
Yeah. Got to have a backup plan, right, Ruffy?
Always, especially floor above. You need a secondary and a third way of getting out. And if you don't, that's when especially the tighter the area, the more you got to start saying, where am I here?
Mike, I used to tell guys all the time, floor above. My first thought was always to find where my way out was first, right? Yeah, I want to
Absolutely.
start searching immediately, but I would
Absolutely.
find my way out, because if you're nervous searching and you don't have a way out, then you're doing a shit ass search already, right? So you might as well, once I found where I was going out, take a look around. Hey, bro, put a ladder over here.
Exactly.
Now
Exactly.
I could search more confident.
No, you
do a
can,
better
because
search.
you know that the way you came in may not be accessible anymore. And now all of a sudden I got this over here.
You can see where the next window is. You take a peek out. You got 2 windows over. All right, I could go this way. I can get another window there, and that's how you search it.
And Warren Jenkins coming in shit hot from the chat saying that was a great tip of the day, even though it was not a tip of the day yet. Tools are not infallible. Very good.
Yep.
Well, they're not. They're not. And neither are we, by the way. That's the other thing too. Some guys, listen, that was one thing I learned from a lot of guys that had time too, like Frank Pampalone and shit. I remember going in as a young guy, going into like, I'm going to make my impression. And all of a sudden I'm wailing to go in, and he's got me by the ankle, and he goes, "Where you going?" I says, you ain't going in there. We got to knock that down a little first, And I was like, I thought I could make it, but I think he knows more than I do here. And he probably was spot on. You can't get by that. And that's another thing. You can only go where you can go. And at a certain point, maybe you don't belong there, and unfortunately that lesson's sometimes found by jumping out windows and shit. And that ain't necessarily a good idea.
Yeah, I'm out on that.
That's for sure. I'm out on windows. Yeah. You're right.
But we say that. I mean, that's the best part of, like you said, you went to 14, right? There was a lot of old guys there, right? Wherever you went, you had senior guys to show you, your boss could show you where you could go and where you couldn't go until you learned for yourself what you wanted to risk, right?
Right, exactly.
So that's really the key.
And the other thing is the risk reward too. A lot of times you got this report. There is always kids in there.
Yeah, always.
You win there and there's no kids in there. So that's the other thing too. What's really my factor here? Am I here, or are there really kids in there?
Right.
And you kind of can dissect that pretty quick after a while too, whether it's just bullshit.
Right.
The usual kids there.
No doubt.
Okay. So you spend how long there? 82 to 88.
Yeah,
about
88.
And then you get promoted.
June 9th, 1988.
1988.
You're old.
I was 14.
He's got some head of hair, though, doesn't he? Look at him.
Son of a bitch.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
He looks like one of the Beach Boys or something.
Pete, actually, we forgot to show his Proby picture, Pete. I know you were busy doing that other stuff.
Thank you, guys.
Speaking of the Beach Boys, look at this guy.
Yeah, this is check this out. I'll get around. Yeah.
So, Mike, I just wanted to tell you, Shecky O'Hagan sent us the
Shecky O'Hagan.
Jackie O'Hagan.
That's a big up name.
Shecky O'Hagan.
Oi, he's the half Jew, half
Well,
Irish.
he must have got that from the Rock. Yeah, great guy, Kevin O'Hagan. He's a lieutenant now in 5 Engine. He was a fireman up there in 92 and 44. Great guy.
What did you say about? What did he have? The Floby or something?
I said that could be an ad for the Floby. I don't know.
That should be an ad.
What kind of haircut is that right there?
You're not kidding. What the hell happened there? That looks like
I don't know what happened there.
Looks like you went to a.
I was like when you went for the hair bag, right?
Oh, that was the Stevie Wonder barber that he went to.
I see some of this, some of that. I don't know. Holy shit, that's freaking
You're not
funny.
kidding. What the hell happened there?
I swear. Hey, look at him now, though. He looks better now than he
Yeah,
did
he does.
then.
He's got the flop working. He's got the flop.
Yeah, where are you living in California? Where are you
Yeah,
at?
no. California. That is some freaking haircut.
He probably couldn't wait for me to get that picture when he said that, right?
Welcome to the hotel,
California.
Yeah, I was happy there, though.
Nah, you look happy.
Yeah.
I like it better without the stash. I think everybody, even all of us, right?
Yeah.
Everybody had stashes back in the
Everybody,
day.
right? Everybody.
I don't know if I had it in the PD picture neither. I probably not, because I was
I don't think so.
I just went on, but I know I had a stash in the PD though, without a doubt. And it was
Somebody wrote that haircut happened in the kitchen.
Well, didn't you just had Chaz on? He was Bobby Chaz. He was a guy that cut hair in the kitchen. He was in '92 when I first went there.
Yeah. He was a hairdresser. I'm like, no, you're a barber. He's like, no.
No, he was a wrestler. He cut his hair.
Yeah. He was a wrestler too with the fat fingers. I don't know how he got his scissors in there.
No, he didn't. Somebody wants to know. Did he pay for the haircut? No, they paid him for that haircut.
It did look like Jim Carrey in that picture.
All right, so let's get on. So you get promoted, and you're covering into the 17th Battalion.
Yes. And shortly thereafter, I got testicular cancer.
What?
No
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, no, I got a history of stuff I could lay on you there with that too. But I had testicular cancer, and I was in good shape at the time because I was training for a marathon, and I still ran the damn thing in 3 hours and 43 minutes going under radiation after I got my nut cut off.
Jesus.
Hold on,
Yeah,
we got a
the
picture.
guys-
We got a picture of those guys, Pete, with the Hasselhoff shorts. Where are those
Yeah,
guys?
I don't listen to
Yeah,
guys anymore.
you know what? It's funny. Your nut was probably hanging out of these shorts right here.
You see that? Huh?
It's right by your right hand. Just don't look too close.
He's got his Richard Simmons shorts on.
The hair looks better.
Gary!
So, what was this, Mike?
Well, that was all of, we had, I think, 16, 17 guys at least that got the fitness award at the Rock. And so that is at the side of the Rock there by the gym before they built all the new stuff out there that you guys were talking about. And it was the largest amount of guys to get that award. And
That's a real deal, right? That
was a tough award. They didn't give it. Actually,
you had to do a certain amount of what? You had to do.
You had to run under a certain amount of time for 5 miles. You had to do a certain amount of sit-ups in under a minute and whatever.
Right.
Actually, Joe Carney was in the group, and he was determined. He didn't get it initially, and he went back and banged it out because he couldn't hit the sit-ups at the time.
I'm sorry. I'm just laughing at a really fucking retarded comment, but hilarious one in the chat that says, "So you sweated your ball off running the race?" From Captain Mo.
The cap, he always has some funny shit.
Cap, you fucking crushed it on that one. And Gabriel, thank you for the kind.
I mean, if you can't laugh about losing a ball, what can you laugh about? I mean,
no. First of all, you got to have laughter in as much as you can in life, because it has enough bullshit to not have laughter.
Yes, sir.
No doubt.
You, sir.
And so, yeah, that was 88, and they thought I was actually there was a couple of times when I was in 59, I had a real bad accident that I forced myself back from. I was doing carpentry work at home. The ladder slipped and I almost cut my freaking leg off.
What?
Yeah. I had to have emergency surgery for the circular saw came down and boom, right across.
Holy shit!
And if I had hit the bone, I would have been done. I remember Tommy Anello was the captain at the time, and who the hell, I forget who else came up in the hospital, and they were like, "Oh man, he's out of the job." But I came back in short notice. I didn't. I stupid, I'm paying for all of that stuff nowadays, but I was a determined son of a gun,
Everyone wants us to stop busting your ball, Mike.
I used to have guys tell me I was nuts, and I could prove them I wasn't.
What a crazy night. You know what? Maybe we should switch to Friday nights for this fucking show. Right out loud.
Wait a minute,
I'm
Mike.
so sorry, Mike.
They didn't tell you were nuts. They told you were nut.
Yeah, that's the difference. That's what I used to tell them. I'm not nuts.
I'm sorry, guys.
How many stitches did you get for that thing?
Man, no, that was a tough recovery.
I didn't know it's a freaking joke, bro.
I had no. I don't even remember. I mean, if you saw the scar on that leg, you'd think it was Frankenstein. It went across the whole leg and up.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
What were you doing on the ladder with a circular saw?
Well, I was cutting birds. You know the birds cuts on the end of the rafters, because I had a bunch of guys help me bang rafters up. So now I'm doing the birds cuts on the end of the rafters there. And what instead of moving the ladder like a shithead,
You were hanging.
Right.
I moved over, and the soil around the new construction didn't hold the ladder, and it slipped. And so your first reflex is to grab, for your balance, and bada bing, and there's another great.
You could have hit your artery there. That would have been.
Yeah, no, I was lucky. I was able to get down. Everything was humming. My son was only like about 5 years old.
Wow.
He's in the backyard playing. He don't know what's going on. And I got, I said, oh, baby, I'm going out of the picture. And there was a mound of dirt. I was able to, grab the leg and get down off the ladder with the one. And I put the leg up. I had enough brains to put the leg up high. And I'm laying there. And an old neighbor, who's long gone now, he didn't hear the work over there anymore. And he come over and he started panicking. And I said, Kenny, don't panic. Get me an ambulance, man. And I was fortunate,
Wow.
I was alone in the yard with my 5-year-old son. He didn't know,
Holy shit, man.
Jesus.
Was that right after you were trimming the trees with a chainsaw on roller skates?
That never happened. That's an alleged.
Alleged. It happened allegedly.
That never happened.
You know what happened?
He's a sick bastard.
You know what he said as soon as that happened? Boom.
Knew it was coming that time.
He knew it was coming.
I predicted that.
So
one.
Mike, I wanted to know how.
This may be the funniest fucking show we've ever had. Head's going into next. Chainsaw taking off.
Oh no! We're not even.
We're not even there yet.
The last comment in the chat I have to go with here from Gonzo is that he gives a true meaning to the phrase "bust a nut."
Oh,
oh shit! Oh, I'm definitely gonna have to click the explicit filter for this one. Oh my god!
I forgot the hell. Oh, so you were what companies were you working at when you were in the 17th?
I was assigned to the 17th Battalion. So you had my evaluator at the time. I just tossed them papers out. Was Chief McGrath, who was a real nice man. He passed away a few years ago. And then you had Devine was there. I don't know if you remember him. He was a big name. And then you had McElroy and Schneider. That's the other thing, guys. Guys, when I went there, they considered that like West Point, and guys that knew me were like, Mike, what are you doing going there? But I had some of the most respect for them guys, and for whatever reason, they liked me, and it was a marriage made in heaven, man. I was happy as a pig in shit there.
Yeah,
that was some of my best time there. I spent almost 14 years there, and I came from 60, and that's a whole other story too.
Wait a minute, 60 what? We haven't got there yet. We didn't get to 60 yet.
No, okay. I'm jumping ahead.
You're jumping. We were covering in 17, and you got assigned to Engine 60.
Yes, and that's a whole story in itself that I don't even know if I should go there. But I was put in 60 Engine to get out of harm's way. Of all places to put me, 60 Engine was a great company, but 60 Engine had a reputation, and I was there, and it was something that I enjoyed my time there, and I got a medal. And actually, people told me that if I wasn't in trouble, I probably would have got the Bennett that year, but that doesn't mean shit.
We're gonna gloss over how you got in trouble, or we gonna just...
Well, we're gonna gloss it a little bit.
What
happened was I was covering. I just had a year in rank, just a year. I got promoted in 88, so in 89 I was doing a vacation spot.
Yeah,
in 29 truck, and so there was a flip and a flop and whatever, and I don't know the kids, the characters, and I'm a young lieutenant, and so I say, hey, okay, so this guy is working with me now, so the captain who was assigned to the company, and he's passed away, and I don't mention names anyway with that, and I never held a grudge. He gives me this guy and says, so he's going to be detailed to you. And then the next thing, my detail is going out to get the meal. So there's another thing now. That's the bulletproof vest was changed because of me, which was a positive thing. And the meals going out to get the meals, that's out of the book still, I think, because that was another thing because of me. Because now he goes out to get the meal. And what does he do? He gets into an accident.
Allegedly.
He gets into an alleged accident, and it's pretty bad. And so I kind of,
Maybe we should move along.
yeah.
So, Coops, I don't know why you make him fucking. Don't talk about fucking.
No.
Why you gotta fucking ask him about to put him on the spot like that?
We told him.
Move along.
We're not sandbagging.
It's just something that I did, and I almost got canned for it.
Yeah, don't move on.
But you didn't.
It's not worth talking about.
I'm not worried about it. I don't want to just.
No, I understand. It's just
you know
not
what
worth
it was.
talking
I was
about.
trying to protect the reputation of the job and protect the guy. And it turned out to where everything just went to shit because the guy was selfish and his brother's car was involved in it. And it was his brother's car who was also on the job. And his sister was an attorney and everything.
Listen,
just went
that's
to
how it
shit.
always, but Mike, that's how it always has been, right? You always try and do the right thing, right? You don't make reports sometimes. You don't do this, you don't do that because you want to help out guys and you do the right thing.
Correct.
And it can backfire.
Will Wolfgang in the chat is saying that nothing is good is coming out of this chat, so maybe we should move on.
With a nut NUTT.
You know what, though, Pete? At the end of the day, he did the right thing.
Yes, he did do the right thing.
Well, you know what? By doing that and all of that stuff there, I found out that that's why the 17th Battalion kind of liked me because they said, you know what? This guy stands up for the department and the members. He ain't a selfish bastard. And I wasn't. You know, I didn't care.
The guys would respect. Listen, the guys, you're going to put your neck out, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know it. You know what? I didn't know it. And I went to covering in spots and you'd hear the stories going around the kitchen table. And one time I'm in a company and the old timer knew me, Mr. Ginty, Jimmy Ginty in
wow.
And
big names.
Oh yeah. He had a good, great man. And all of a sudden, they're all talking, and he goes, "Well, what are you talking about? The whole story sounds like a crock of shit. Why don't you just ask him? He was the one."
Oh, shit.
The guys love it when you stand up for them, right? You know.
Oh man, I'm telling you, I was.
Sometimes you go to bat for your company and you get lifted and you become a legend. You know about that? You know what I'm saying, Ruffy?
I got to tell you what I never realized by doing that, and I didn't do it for that reason. But I found out even after I finally retired and stuff that really guys respected me almost anywhere I went because they knew that I just wasn't out for myself. And you want to talk about something that's really what I learned on the job, and something that I hope there's never lost to the job is the brotherhood, man. You can't be a selfish son of a bitch just thinking about yourself. And if you are, then you're really losing the value of the whole the job itself. I mean, you got a responsibility, and if you can't do it in that position, then you have to move on, you know. Whether it's the roof, the irons, the can, whatever. And I understand you got your good and bad days, but man, you gotta step up to the plate when the shit's on the fan, you know, period.
Yep.
I agree.
All right. So you only spend a short time. What?
Yeah, I was going to say, was Mannix there in 17 at that time?
Yes.
Was Paul there?
Yeah. And what you had was then, so I'm putting it, and the guys didn't know that. And again, a proud company and a great company. I still get all sorts of stuff from them, but it wasn't what I wanted. And so when they found out I was transferring, oh God, did I get excoriated? You know, it wasn't nice. And I understand their point, but they didn't understand mine, you know, and so they weren't happy. But I finally
say that all the time. I mean, guys take it personal, right? I mean,
I get it. It's a proud company, you know. So they were kind of like, hey, you just got here, now you want to get out of here. You know, what kind of shit is that? And they found that, they found that out too, because downtown was still always breaking my chops. You had Manson was the chief of Manhattan and the Bronx at the time, the north end of Manhattan and the Bronx. And we were out on buildings one day, and he calls in the company to excoriate me in front of the freaking whole company. You know, you're not going to, because I said, let me get out of the Bronx. I'll go to Harlem. So I put it for 28 truck, and you're not getting 28 truck. You ain't going anywhere. And they were all looking at me. And that's when I was exposed to the men, you know, and I stood there, and I remember those, I started to get like, oh, I'm going to, you know, and then I just said, you know, thank you very much, Chief. We got to get back on buildings, and thank you very much for me and
buildings.
And he looked at me like I was out of my mind. And I walked out. I said,
kill him with kindness, baby. Kill him with kindness.
That's exactly what I did. And he didn't know what to do because he thought he was going to get a goat out of me, but he didn't.
Yeah. No doubt. Kill him with kindness.
So you go up to 44 truck.
Greatest move ever, man.
Never heard of
Paradise. Paradise.
What made you put in for 44? I mean, what the?
I always wanted to go to 44.
Yeah.
I always wanted to go to 44. It was my goal all along. And so I just wanted to go there because 44, if you know the area, it has no projects, which is a paradise in itself. It had a lot of occupied, and you were rocking and rolling. You were, you know what I mean? You were catching work, and it was just enjoyable. And the best part of all that I found out later, I didn't have to do shit. It was on autopilot, man. I was learning up in 44.
You were at Disney World.
The members up there had, time. George Daly just passed away. God rest his soul. He was my first chauffeur up there, and what a freaking great guy. Crazy as bad shit, but what a great guy, and always laughing, and it was like simpatico. I was like, wow, this is awesome. And then no matter who I caught up there with, I mean, I could go on with names after names after names. It was just.
Who were the bosses then when you got there, Mike?
Well, you had Miali was the captain. Right, Frank Miali. You had Bobby Morris.
Wow.
And you had Al Hagen.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, I was in paradise, man. I was in paradise.
And Joe Feiner. I mean, really.
Yeah. No, it was
Joe Feiner.
it was just, I mean, it was special.
How did you get up there, Mike? You just put it for it, or you had to?
Well, you know what happened, and this is, I just found this out later, a couple of years ago. One of the guys told me this too, and I didn't believe it, but I went to see Chief Snyder before he died. I like to, don't ask me why, I like to go visit people before they pass, if they're going. And I'm sitting talking with him, and he told me, he said, you know what? He said, when I found out your reputation and what you did, he says, I tried to get you there in the best way, out of harm's way into the, and I said, oh, Chief, that was a blessing. And I got to tell you, he was a hard guy, but he was a sweetheart, though. You know what I mean? Guys would be intimidated by him, but he was really.
Right, that's incredible to have that guy. Like,
yeah, no, it was a
that's
gem.
good stuff.
And McElroy too, another chief up there. These guys, to this day they tell me, oh man, you were the best. So I don't know whether they're blowing smoke up my ass, but they don't have it.
That's all right. I'll take it.
But it was all good though. It was really good. And again, it wasn't me. It really wasn't me. It was on autopilot. I just let it go, and now that I'm thinking about that, when we start to go into that one segment, that's where I'll save that for that thought, that it's pretty heavy.
And the guys are just
we
doing
like to believe we are so special.
No.
We are not special unless we are a group. Like you guys run this chat here, one guy can't do it alone. It takes the three years. And so, and then even some beyond that.
No, the guys make your job easy. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Or they make it miserable. And you know what? The shops too, because everybody knows them on a job. You say, oh, I don't want to go to that shop. It's a shit shop. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. And it's certainly made.
I was talking, I told you I came on with Brian Fox.
Yes.
He was, he's a captain now. I just saw him the other day. Big shot, big trees.
Yeah, no, that's great to see too. There's a lot of guys that have moved up through the ranks. I mean, I think about that. Daly was a fireman in 92 engine when I was up there. Jimmy Daly.
Yeah.
I could go on. There's a few guys, and
wow, all those guys, huh?
It's nice to see them all go up. But well,
was it Liam in 44?
It was.
Liam came
from
some truck company, I forget. Actually, Paul Talbot, who is the chief somewhere out
in the 5-0. He just retired too. I'm trying to get him on the show.
Actually, he was in 14 engine with me.
No shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna hammer him on that one too. I gotta get him.
He's 14 engine. We won't tell stories about that.
Allegedly. Wow, there's a lot of guys up there, huh? I mean, there's some big hitters coming out of that place, obviously.
Oh, no, without a doubt. And the same thing with 59. 59 had a lot of guys like
I cannot believe how many guys came out of that place.
Well,
man.
Jimmy Hart came out of there. He was the chief in SOC.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of guys came out of
What they call it? Bulldog or something? What was that guy's name?
Oh yeah, no.
Bulldog.
We used to call him Bulldog because he was Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Yeah. Right. Remember that guy, Riffy?
Yes, I do actually. Yes.
Yeah, Bulldog. Yeah, actually, that's another story too with him on a fire.
Oh, was Everett there? Everett was there. Was Mike
Everett
there?
Everett came after me. Everett was there later on. I don't know somewhere.
Oh, he was after that. Oh, all right.
Well, he came. I was there. I was there when he came there. Mikey came in 98, I think, or somewhere around there. I don't know for sure. Yeah, he was a 33 truck guy, which was a great house, 33. But oh God, you had to just you felt like you were riding the IRT all night. Boom!
Oh, nice.
Oh.
He was saying he had some funny stories, like he's, you guys run in with each other, right? I mean, it's like we don't want to use the word enemy, but listen, you're trying to do the best for your company, and you have a lot of pride. And he said, when he went from 33 and got promoted and he went to 44, he said, that was my place. And then that was it, right? I mean, wherever you're at, that's the best place. And that's what you're going to do all the time, right?
Yes. Yeah. And I got to tell you, again, I'm impartial. I mean, they gave me this, the plaque here, which even though I went to the Marine, they gave me this beautiful plaque from 44.
Wow. That's great.
The guys, man, it was just this special place, man. And you talk about that. We went for a year up to 42 engine. I forget what year that was.
When they were working on the firehouse or something?
They redid the quarters.
No
Right.
shit.
And we were up there for about a year. Now, 42 engine didn't want nothing to do with us up there. And we weren't crazy about it either. And we had to switch rigs because we had a 100-footer. And so we switched to
75.
17 trucks, 75, and they took off 100-footer. And we went up there, and it was such a beautiful thing.
Really?
Up there. And the beauty was, if you look back at the stat, I don't know what year, 98 or something to 99, the runs and workers were through the roof for us because nobody filled our hole down in.
So you were still going there, but you got all the work from 42.
And we were taking 33 jobs. And
I love it.
And so, oh no, this was great. So what actually Kevin O'Hagan put not 33 on the front of the thing, with a little plaque, not
Nice.
33, up on the front of the rig. And so we catch a real good job. We catch a real good top floor that 33 should have been first due, but us being in 42's quarters, we clearly beat them in. And Herbie Percivali was the chief in the 17th Battalion. He was my captain when I first went to 43. And you want to talk about a great guy. And I'm going to divert again the story here because you talk about when I cut my leg, I was doing all that work. All of a sudden, my wife says to me, there's someone, she tells me, it calls me at the hospital, there's someone on the roof. It was Herbie Percivali trying to sheathe the roof, of the house to protect it. There's the brotherhood.
The brotherhood right there, man.
Oh, man. There's a captain. And when I first met him, I go, whoa, this guy's a surly old timer, But he was a gem. He was a gem. Anyway, he was the chief there for the 19th Battalion. So we come down, and we did do a good job, And he goes, Mike, and he didn't realize 33 truck was there. He says, what a great job you guys did. And all of a sudden, 33. I go, Chief. They're going to poison you tonight.
It's so funny, Mike. Every time they do that, right? Whenever the job has to work on the apparatus floor or something and they move the company, it always seems that company does so much better wherever they're at. Every time I've ever seen that happen.
Yeah, when they put 112 in Triple Deuce's quarters. Same thing,
right. They crushed it. They didn't want to go back. Carrot 2 didn't want to go back.
Well, a funny story to that, a sequel is that I can't think of the chief's name now. It'll come to me. In the 19th Battalion, he was the commander at the time. We went back to 92 and 44's quarters on Morris Avenue, and they did a nice job with the quarters too. And we get in there, 5 guys from 42 engine transferred to 44 truck.
Wow.
5.
Wow. Oh, because I
within
mean,
a
they
year.
knew everybody. I
Within
mean,
a year. Yeah.
yeah.
And the chief, because there was no captain at the time, we were like in between, and I was a senior lieutenant. He goes, "What the kind of shit is this?" I said, "Chief, they love us, man. What's the difference? It doesn't look right. They should be transferring to 33." I said, "What can I tell you? You know." But they wanted to come down to there, you know. So you had, 5 guys.
Wow.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Now 42. I mean, they're still doing work, I believe, right?
Great
I mean,
house.
Great house, right? Single
Great,
engine, right?
Great house, single engine, great house. Well, they were a double. Actually, that goes back to my cop days. I was intense in that whole area there. That they were in with 56 truck, and 56 truck came out of quarters one day there and didn't make a turn correctly. And they ended up killing a woman and a baby coming across the sidewalk there. Yeah. And so I think they were looking to move them anyway. So they moved them up with 48 engine when 48 engine was taken out of their single house up there and put over in the
They
new.
just couldn't make the turn to get
On
out.
what-
They were
Yeah,
going
they
the
didn't make the
sidewalk.
turn and something jammed or whatever. Maybe a
Yeah,
helmet got stuck. I don't know. It was a terrible accident. You know, it was an accident, and it was just something
We
horrible.
used to do the
And-
same 103. We used to come out. We had to go onto the sidewalk on the opposite side because you couldn't make the turn.
Well, that's a tough street up there. Morris Avenue up there is a little one-way street. So
Yep.
coming out of there, even with the 75-foot tower ladder was a
It's tough.
bitch to come out of there.
Yeah.
And they and 56 was a rear mount, but it was still a tough area to come in and out of. So that was a
Was
whole
Camp Luisi there when you were there, or that was after?
Stevie.
Yeah.
Stevie came after me. No, I was there. Stevie was the wizard. He was a computer wizard, you know, Stevie.
Thank God.
I was the computer guy for a while there, but once Stevie came,
Thank
he was
God,
the guy,
right?
and actually you found that out. I'm not a computer guy.
I was just gonna say, dude. I was gonna say, you're the computer guy.
We
Well,
didn't find that. We didn't find that out. This guy found that out.
Oh God!
Look at that face.
Here we go.
That
Do
guy's
me a
fake.
favor, post that
Oh,
on the
here we
fan
go.
page tonight, will you?
Yeah,
I want to see what they come up with. Murphy, we got him ready.
You got me. You got me.
Go ahead, Mike.
Go home and get your fucking shine
Stevie's
box.
a great guy. I think is he still up there now? Or
He is. I believe he still is.
wow.
He is.
Yeah.
He's a 103. They
Yeah.
talk about him in 103 all the time.
Oh no. He's a dynamite.
He's still a big dude too. Like he's jacked.
Yeah.
You know, like he's
Yeah.
still a freaking.
Yeah,
he's a
you know,
monster.
you know his hot dog eating history too, right?
No, I don't.
Oh
boy.
God, man.
He's a Coney Island guy.
Yeah, well, he doesn't Coney Island, but 19 Truck used to have a thing, and he would wolf down hot dogs and crush everybody. They'd be throwing up trying to keep up with him eating hot dogs.
No shit.
Oh no, it wasn't hot dogs. It was not hot dogs. I take that back. It was raviolis.
Oh, that I could see. Hey, Luisi. You know what I mean? The guy's got to eat.
How many of them raviolis? They're freaking this big, and
I could eat 15, 20 raviolis, I think.
Yeah, he monstered him. I forget, but he would crush the ravioli contest in 19. Yeah.
That I believe. That I could see him.
We were talking about George Daly. I believe his son went there after him.
His son, I work with his son. His son was a good guy too, and he's a lieutenant now. He just got promoted.
Yeah.
I was in Florida when he got promoted, and I would have liked to have seen the pop before one last time. It was unexpected for him to go, but his son was good. His son was good, because we had a good job one day, and we come in. Actually, it was the day of a captain's test, and I blew that one off too, and. And I worked that day. I worked overtime.
I was just gonna say you got overtime. That day, right? I got overtime a lot on those days.
So we made a nice rescue, but he was ready to go right away with dropping a rope, and whatever. And fortunately, again, not me, but we made a great rescue because it was a prong attack of all of a sudden. He's getting ready to go with a rope. And I'm like, we can't get to that back bedroom. We just can't get there. And the next thing I'm saying, I'd like to breach this wall. And I'm thinking to myself, we got to breach this wall. And I'm no sooner saying that. And Danny Perella, who's awesome fireman. He was in 111. He transferred up there. You know, crazy as back shit, but you know,
well, you got to be a
that
little
was one of
crazy.
my things. I used to tell all the captains. I think I went through 3 or 4 captains up there. I drove them all to drink and leave, but we used to tell them, put all the fools in my group because no fools, no fun. And
That's a
That
shirt.
sounds like a shirt to me, bro.
Oh, that is a shirt. No fools, no fun. Write that down, Coobies. Come on.
And you know what? Though? I got to tell you, the guys that were a little crazy, they were some of the best firemen.
Oh,
Anyway,
there's no
back to
doubt
that
about
story,
that. You got to be a little
it's-
crazy, man.
Oh man, and I don't know if you know Danny Perella, but he's an awesome fireman. It was like having a second mind. All of a sudden, I'm thinking to myself, well, we really need, and he was the chauffeur. And next thing I know, boom, 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 he's up there with the mall. He's taking the freaking wall with the mall, and we get the woman and the child out.
Wow, great job.
And I tell Chris Daly is the son. I said, Chris, ixnay on the rope. We don't need it, man. And we were able to get them out, you know. And 92 kept the line from the fire coming down the hall on us, and then they made their push, you know, after we got our asses out of there.
You know what, Mike? I say all the time, there's like a few houses on the job, like you were saying before, that have reputations. And, you know, right away, I think 231, 120, right? Just as far as tradition goes, that really keep their old timers in the loop, right? The retirees, all that stuff. And I think 92 and 44 is just that, right? I mean, the Chiefs, you know, a lot of Chiefs' sons, when they come on the job, if they were from the Bronx, right? They all go to 92 and 44, right?
All of them. I actually, that was a beautiful thing too. I had a couple of Chiefs put their kids in to the company and even say to me, you know, one of the reasons is because you're working up in there and I'd like them to learn. Harry Norham, God rest his soul, his son's a captain now in 75 engine, you know, and you know, you had a bunch of young guys like that. I can't even think of names off the top of my head. And it was fun to have that and do whatever. And that was one of the things that I always believed in doing all the time too. I mean, I don't care what I was doing, but whatever I was doing, it always turned into some kind of fun game of drill, you know? And so guys never knew where I was coming from when all of a sudden we'd be riding up on a stupid water leak or something else. And I'd stop the elevator and I'd go, okay, that's it. This isn't a water leak anymore. It's a fire. We're going to open this fucking landing. And where are you going? You know, and then I'm going to the right. I'm going to the left. And I'm going, and then I said, okay, we all picked our spots. Boom. And now with the light, and I said, oh, well, you went down a dead end hallway. You're dead. You know, and it made you have to
Think a little bit.
Always think. And I always said that. I always said, I don't give a shit what you think you're going on. Sometimes it's like, whoop. You know?
Yeah, no doubt about it. Always be prepared then.
Yeah, and that's easier said than done too. Because
I know that.
I remember one day when I was working, you know, I was in the boats, and I forced myself to get into working the squads and shit and all of that because I wanted to keep my feet wet. Because that's a whole other story too. You know why I went to the boats? I didn't want to, health reasons. But when I found out that I could work in the squads, I forced my way into there. And there you go. Look at that. See, I'm pointing at the water.
Over there. The fire's over there.
No, water skis. You dropped the ski.
With the wet stuff on
Drop
the
the
red
ski.
stuff right there.
That's it.
That was a helicopter that went down, believe it or not.
So
That's a
what
good
happened
gig,
there?
though. That's a good gig. Like at the end of your career, that's not a bad gig to.
It was a great gig, but I mean, I can go on a while with that too, because that was one of the toughest parts of the job for me when I first went there, because I really didn't go there. And I guess you can sense it even talking with me, man. I still got a fire in my belly. And when I went there, I was a little disappointed with some of the cast of characters. It was just like, you know what? This is a great detail, but, you know, be ready to go when the bell rings, you know? And so there was a little bit of a lack of that, and I didn't like that. And one of the best compliments I ever got was Chief Siegel, who we didn't see eye to eye going down.
I had the same thing with him too.
I
He was great. Afterwards, I became very close with his son, and I used to see him, and it was different afterwards.
Yeah, no, and again, I'm not trying to knock
No,
him.
no, I got you.
He you know, he didn't see eye to eye with me, and I could see that, you know, and I just I went there, though, but he paid me a great compliment when I was you know, before I exited. He said, "I never seen anyone change a company the way you did, especially as a lieutenant." I mean, I went down there and kicked a lot of cans. You know, I just didn't like certain things I saw. And I've had guys now that have come through there that are all good guys that I ended up bringing a few down there. And they said, man, that place changed. You know, it just changed. I mean, you know, you tell me you start a store, and then I'd go out and start the store, and the fucking cord would come out in my hand. I'd say, "You started this?" Then I'd start the generator, it had water, and I said, "You started this?" And I said, "Do me a favor, don't bullshit me at least, and then make sure it works, because I don't want to look like an asshole. Because if we go out and we got to do something, we look like morons." And
Right.
it's become a real good shop now, I'm told. You know, which is a compliment that he did pay me.
Well, I think even for, you know, I'm sure Coops would say the same thing. Wherever we worked, you know, especially when I was bouncing or whatever, I always, again, not every place has a reputation of drilling, right? And that's up to that place, right? But when I did it, I always would grab the young guys. I didn't have to always grab the senior man to drill, right? I don't need him. I'm there for the day. But I would always grab the youngest guys and do something, right? Just so that they would learn something, because maybe they're not getting that. You know what I mean?
Oh, no. Agreed. And now I got to tell you, and I tried to go to Rescue 1. I tried to go back to the field, but then I got hurt. But I got hurt on the boats, of all places, believe it or not. But I wanted to go back to Rescue 1, you know. And the powers that be really didn't want me there for whatever reason, but they offered me Squad 18, which was a great spot. And I started to think about taking it, and I said, man, I don't want to do EMS runs.
Yeah,
again.
the EMS
58, 59 years old. I said to myself, I don't want to be banging EMS.
They run around a lot.
Yeah, and a great company. I mean,
they do good work there.
And the reason I'm bringing that up is because when I used to work there, you know, the guys would always be like, you know, can we go out and drill? And I said, I'd love to, man. You know, and so they would pick, you know, brain for a little bit of firematics and shit, which was good because I did, you know, that was one of the arguments that I had with Chief Siegel when they were offering the one young guy a spot in Rescue 1. I said, what he knows, I can learn. What I know, you can't teach him.
Wow.
You know, that's.
And Mike, tell Louis the story about when you wanted to work in the squads.
Well, I wanted to go into squads. When I first got there, the squads and the rescues were coming, the officers to Marine 1 and working overtime. And this is before the 12%. And I didn't give a shit about the 12%. And I was like, you know, I just wanted to, I said, oh, you know what? Because again, I went to Marine 1. I'll tell you what, another medical story. I had hepatitis C. And I had it for years, and I never went sick with the shit. And I even went through interferon treatments and stayed full duty and whatever. And I finally conquered that. But my doctor said, you know what, Mike, you're killing yourself. You gotta go find an office job. I said, office job? I'm a freaking fireman, you know. So then Harry Wanamaker, God rest his soul, calls me up and says, Mike, why don't you come to Marine 1? I'm retiring. And Harry was a great guy. He had a lot of experience in Harlem and 92 engine. Great guy. And so I says, and you know what? I took it. And that's where the clash came with Chief Siegel in the beginning, because he was like, you're not going to get this spot. And I'm like, I think I am. You know, I knocked on the door with the uniform, and I knew people. And I said, I think I'm going to get it, Chief. So if you don't want me, let me know. And I'll. So anyway, I get there. Now all of a sudden, the Marine guys, I'm getting relieved. And I'm getting relieved by guys from rescue and stuff like that. And I go, oh, shit, I can work in the rescue. No, you can't. And I'm like, what? And so they're like, well, you can't. And so one day, I guess a guy in SOC calls me up. He doesn't know, young guy, a young fireman. And he goes, hey, Lou, you know, we really need someone in Squad 61. Can you work there? I'll take it. You know, so I go up there now, and Nicky Cadero, he's a chief now. I'm not
Corrado?
Yeah. He was a captain at the time. I think that's his name, Nicky Corrado.
Yeah, Corrado.
Yeah. And so he's walking out, and I'm walking in, and he goes, where are you from? And I says, Marine 1. Marine 1? You're not part of the system. And I go, what the fuck is the system? It's the fire department. So I no sooner get down there and start writing the roll call, and I remember the name now, Kev. It was John Norman. He calls me up, Mike. It was like the end of the world. You can't work there. I go, why not? And I never in my whole career went upstairs. I went upstairs, looked at the looked at the book of all the guys that were working that day. I had more time in 44 truck as a boss than they had on a job.
I was going to say, what'd you do? You did over 20-something years in the truck,
yes,
right?
Yeah. So I was like, I call him back. I says, "Are you kidding me, Chief?" I says, "You can't." So Dennis Gordon came from home to relieve me, and Dennis, great guy. He felt like shit, I says, "What are you gonna do, man?" So I got relieved, and out I went. And from then, I said, "That's bullshit. I'm not taking that." And Richie Goldstein was in the union as the Chiefs rep, and I knew Richie. He was a lieutenant in 43, and I said, "Richie, you got to do something." So he got me to hazmat training with the International down in Atlantic City, which was a whole great gig. And I made a mistake there because then I got such a gift of gab to bullshit that when I went up to give my talk at the end of the week there, the guys from hazmat were saying, "Would you like to teach hazmat?" I says, "I don't know about shit about hazmat." They said, "Well, we'll teach you. You could teach it, And I says, "No, I don't want to do that." That
like
was
the trainer or something.
Yeah,
right?
that was probably, yeah. And it was like, oh boy. But then once I got that, now I had my foot in the door and I was able to start going. And then I got the, all the other certificates for high angle. And
I mean, well, that's the whole thing is that's the only reason you couldn't do it. It had nothing to do with your time. Obviously, it had to do with all the all the other shit.
And the kingpin was the hazmat. They locked the door by the hazmat. But then all of a sudden the guys in the boats though, and they were like getting pissed at me too. "What are you doing? Now we're gonna have to work all the time." And you don't have to do shit. I want to work. So all of a sudden I became a bad guy on that side of the fence. Oh God.
That's some good shit, man. You had some career, brother.
Yeah, I had a great run. It was a lot of fun, man. It really was. It was, I wouldn't want to do it over again, but that's one of the reasons Joe Carney called me with this here. And you know what? I've seen your podcast and I said, you know what? And I got to tell you, I can't believe how fast the time is going. I just looked at the clock up there.
I told you.
You're good.
Yeah, but I got to tell you, just rehashing this stuff is awesome, man. It's just, you know what? Boom.
Hey,
salute.
I got to ask you, you still got the gravel in your gut. You still got the fire in your belly, right?
Yeah, I know, but I'm an old man. I can hardly walk.
I hear you, but you got it still. You got that.
Oh, no. I got it here.
Yeah.
But the body though. I'm actually looking to go under a back operation whenever.
So I was going to ask you, what do you do to temper all that energy these days? What do you?
I keep doing shit all the time. My wife yells at me all the time. You shouldn't be doing that. I says, let me go. And I can't run anymore, but I still walk, like I'll walk 7-8 miles a day sometimes,
No shit.
Yeah. I still get out to, I got to do something just to keep myself, and you know what, it's a use it or lose it type thing, man. You got to keep the body moving. I mean,
100%.
I can't do the stuff I used to do. And with the COVID shit, I stopped going to gyms. So I don't push any weights anymore, which is probably a good thing. But I'm always doing stuff. I just was moving rocks out of the yard there, and there were big, heavy rocks in the wheelbarrows. You're like, no wonder why your back don't appreciate that. I says, I don't appreciate my back.
Hey.
Do you, Mike, do you keep in touch with anybody from any of the firehouses?
Yeah, I do. Yes, I do. I'm very close with Jimmy Zodowick, who's a great guy. He was in 43 and 59. And then he went to 111, and then I got him to come to 44, and he came to the Marine. I dragged his ass down to the Marine.
That's usually how it works. You get drag people around, right?
Richard Johnson was my chauffeur up there too, and he became a captain, and I got him down there in the Marine. I got Augie Tefano down there in the Marine, great guy. Mike Lambert, and really all that did was a selfish thing. I got them towards the end of their career, but also it just made my career better too. Because now, again, like we were saying before, surround yourself with
Good people.
home run hitters,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you hit a few home runs now and then.
Yeah.
You know?
Mike, I've told this story before in the past, but when I was in 16 truck, Sal Lasciuto, was that his name?
Oh, I love Sal. Sal's
Sal.
another great. Oh no, Sal's a great guy.
He was driving Von Essen at the
Von
time.
Essen, right? Yeah.
So when I was in 16 truck, he saw that I was into the job. I would check both rigs, the engine. I would check the truck.
Yeah.
So he says to me, "Hey kid, do you want to go up to 92? You know, to the engine up there with that's what 92 and 44, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and funny you talk about. I'm going to let you go with that, but he just called me the other day.
Did he?
I didn't know who it was right away.
So I said, "Yeah, I'll go." You know, yeah, no, I would love to go up there. You know, but at the same time, Ruffy calls me. He says, "Hey, dude, the start of the squad's come down for an interview," and I wound up going to the squad. I felt bad telling Sal, you know, I appreciate it, but I can't go up to 92 now. You know, but so who knows? You know, 98, you were still there in 98, right?
Oh, sure, I was. I didn't leave till 2004.
I actually went
I
at that time.
would have been working with you.
In 98, I had my paper in for 33 truck.
33. Okay.
Yeah.
Why not 44?
Because I knew Joe Higgins, and Joe Higgins knew Captain Fenimore.
Well, now there's another name to go back to that old story that we're not allowed to talk about. Joe Higgins helped save my ass. Joe just passed away about a year or so ago.
Yes, he did just pass away. Yeah.
Nice man, but the tape somehow magically disappeared, like
Nice.
Lucky Charms. You
Like
know?
he showed
His hand, 1 second.
I was like this. Oh,
Yeah.
What happened to that? It's gone.
Yeah. But again, and I really enjoy this, you know, and I don't think I'm spilling too many beans. You know, I got to tell a funny story though. I do have to tell a funny story.
do it.
Go ahead. Do it.
We're out one day, and it's winter time, right?
Wait, where are we?
We're in 44 truck.
Okay.
And I forget what the hell we were out for, but all of a sudden I look and I go, man, oh man, there's a ramp over by the high school there, Taft. And I forget the street, and the ramp goes down, and I go, oh shit, that would be tough to get to the backyard there, you know, because it was a sheet of ice on this ramp. So I says, you know, the best way to bring tools back there. Oh, this is a funny story. Because I'm not even going to tell half my funny stories because I get statutes of limitations are out.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
laughter is in. And by the way, it didn't involve this neither because I didn't drink for like 15 years or better. Guys didn't even believe I didn't drink because of the hepatitis. Anyway, we go and I said, you know what? How would you get tools down to here? And I had a couple of old timers there too. Tommy McGarry had 30-something years. And yeah. And so, what are you talking about? And I said, well, how would you get tools down here? How would you get down here? I says, you load up the Stokes and you slide the fucking thing down. So guys are like, what? So we take the Stokes off the rig, and we started having bobsled contests to see who could get the furthest to the back of the yard.
Classic.
We're having classic fun. So Joe Mahoney, who's a great guy up there, he says, let's get the engine here. So he has us tend to the engine. And the captain at the time was Billy Ohm, who was pretty straight. He's like, are you out of your fucking mind? And I was like, oh, no, this is great. We're going to have the engine against the truck. They left. He saw the diesel. But that was funny. It was fun. And Jimmy Daly was riding. He was pretty.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
We're trying to get him on the show. Do you still talk to Chief Daly?
Yeah, I could get it. I could contact him.
Give him a little, you know,
give him a little nudge.
He should go on. Yeah,
You know
Jimmy's
what?
a great guy.
I love those days, Mike. I love those stories, like all those like little things that weren't part of the
innocent.
main stuff.
And you want to know what? It really was a drill too, but it turned into hysterical laughter. Why can't you have fun? You know what I used to take to Proby's, and guys would say, hey, Lou, there's a new Proby in here or whatever. I'd say, yeah, send him upstairs. And I'd say, hey, come here. And I'd walk back downstairs and I'd bang the F on the rig and I'd go, you see that? You see that? Do you know what that stands for? Yeah, fire, sir. I says,
Fun.
no, fun. It only stands for fire when there's fire. Now listen to the senior guys and leave me alone. I should never see you again.
Those are the best. I mean, when I think back, when I've laughed the hardest, where I really laughed the hardest, it was always in the firehouse or something.
Make it up. You cannot make up this stuff, bro. You can't.
No. Awesome. And that's why it's nice here, because it's almost a little like a kitchen table wrap, you know.
Touch it a little bit, just a little bit.
Which is really a fun thing. Yeah. You know, the times spent with the men and that camaraderie, you know, was always very special. And if I miss anything, I miss that kitchen table. And do you say, do I still talk guys? Yeah, I still call guys now and then. I call Donnie Wasco quite a bit, you know, here and there. I call Tom McGarry, who's a gentleman, a sweetheart, you know, and Joe Mahoney, and you know, on and on and on. You know, who the hell I just talked to recently here? I call guys all the time, though. I try to stay in touch. Kevin O'Hagan's a great guy. You know, he's
Sure.
awesome.
You know what you should be doing, Mike? Calling these guys and telling them to watch the show. I'm just saying, you know.
Hey.
Well, you know what? Actually, O'Hagan must watch it because he sent me the thing with the link showing my picture tonight, you know, earlier today. Yeah.
Look at that. So more guys are watching than we think.
How often do those guys have the reunions?
You know what? They have them once a year, and they're usually in May. Yeah. And unfortunately, I've been missing them the last couple of years because I've been, you know, I'm tired of the winter shit, and so I
You go down south,
in
yeah.
Florida. Yeah, I usually put my ass in Florida.
What part of Florida are you down there?
In Naples.
Whoa, that's where Hank is. Hank and all those guys down there.
Yes. Oh, there's a slew of guys down there.
You know, we're coming down. I was talking to a couple of the guys. They have a big St. Patty's Day parade down there.
Huge.
Allegedly.
I never been, but huge.
So
yeah.
we're going to do a show from there on St. Patty's Day.
Really?
in.
This year?
Mike, you're in.
Better get your ass down there for St. Patty's Day.
Joe,
well,
Joe,
I'll
get
do
your
that.
tickets, Joe.
Joe, get your tickets now.
No, really? Are you serious?
Our good
Yeah,
friend,
serious.
our
Yeah.
good friend
Well,
Frank
there's
Mollet is down there.
There's a
Yes.
big contingent of guys down there.
There's a lot of firemen in
I really
Naples,
try and stay away from a place that has a lot of firemen.
but
Yeah,
Nothing
you
good
know
can
what?
happen.
No, there's some. I don't blame you.
Oh, shit.
yeah, man. So we're going to come down to Naples. I'm going to talk to Jose. We're going to get all the Florida guys. There's a lot of guys in the chat who follow, or
Yeah.
maybe not from Naples, but they're all going to come down. So they said there's like 30,000 people marching who are on
Yeah,
that
no,
parade.
it's a pretty. I've never been, but it's a pretty big parade, you know.
Yeah, well,
And you have
2022, you'll be there, Joe Feiner.
All right.
boom.
All right.
You know
No,
what time it is?
Oh, it's that time?
You know what, guys? I think it is finally time after a crazy freaking night. Not because of you, Mike.
Good stuff.
But
Good
a
stuff.
crazy night for the old school tip of the day. Take it away, sir.
All right, kid.
Yeah, the old school tip of the day would be that you got to listen to everybody around you. Everybody, you know, as much as you think you know what you're doing, there are times that a guy with a week on a job might see something that you don't see. And so to just blow him off because he don't know is a foolish thing. And so, again, I like the way hockey explains it. There is no I in team. The fire department is a true team. And without that team concept, we're lost. We need the engine. We need the truck. We need the chiefs. We need everyone. And as much as we don't think we do, if we don't pay attention to all the sounds and things around us, we have a problem because we're one eye instead of numerous eyes. And that's my tip of the day. Stay
Excellent.
united.
I love
I
it.
like it.
You know what it
Nice
is?
one.
That is so you just said it. Like the guy with a week on the job, just because he has a week on the job doesn't mean he can't see something that you're not seeing at that time.
Well, and this isn't a case of him seeing that, but the rescue of Trainer down there, and that's one of the most beautiful things too, is that I was involved in life and people being pulled out of situations, and the Trainer rescue on Christmas Eve is I kind of look at it as if it was sent from heaven. And the reason I say that is because we had a detail from Lower Manhattan who was a young fireman, and we roll in with the 2.5, and it was a vacant store on the lower level, and it was roaring. And we get that line in, and we're pushing all the way through. We make a great aggressive move, and the whole time, you guys know that fire keeps lighting up behind you, but it's inconsequential because it's really small shit. You've kind of knocked it down, it really isn't going to affect you. It's not like a major fire, but we're making it to the back, and with the 2.5, and we're in a tight old lord tenement, and we couldn't get the line to a position to where I could get up the shaft where the fire was really roaring. And this guy, the whole time, Lord, there's fire
behind you, right?
Fire. And I keep looking and I go, it's fine. But he was driving me crazy. And what was really driving me crazy, though, was that we couldn't get the 2.5 to make that angle. So I said to the guys, you know what? Let's just back this fucking thing out of here. We'll get back a little bit. We'll knock down this stuff.
Little shit, right?
Everyone's crazy with, and I don't think I would have thought of this.
I know where you're going already.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you right now, I wouldn't be sitting here talking. It is
I see it already.
My mind, and all of a sudden we back it out. We don't get out about 20 feet,
and it's ripping.
No, the whole thing came down.
No shit.
The whole thing came down. The whole shaft area that we would just, we would have been buried alive. Now, all of a sudden I look, and Tommy Keelan was with me, and I had everyone else say, back out, drop the line, back out, because I thought the whole building was going. And I said to Tommy, we got to make a move here, because I looked, I was going to back us out too, but, and I gave a Mayday, and the chief's name now, an old deputy. Anyway, I gave a Mayday because I could see the glow of the turnout coat hanging in all of the freaking wires and shit and stuff.
Oh shit!
And so Tommy and I were able to get him and release him from there and drag him out through the front, and then the rest of that whole thing just.
So because the guy was being a pain in the ass. You came out. You got lucky.
The only reason I moved, and I've been in about 4 collapses, but this one here was as close as could be, because there is no way in my mind I was leaving that position. None. I was just going to say, move it over here, move it over there. You know what? Because I didn't. But by him being a pain in the ass, I said, you know what? We'll just knock that.
Just knock it down and come back, right?
Position maybe, and then come back in. So we would have been under that stuff.
Wow.
We wouldn't have been on top of it. We would have been under it.
We say that all the time, Mike. We get lucky, right? Sometimes we really get lucky.
You know what? Luck has a big part of. I mean, just ask Jay Jonas.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I if you don't mind, I'd like to just take a moment of silence for all of the brothers that we've lost on this job. I think that's a powerful thing that guys don't realize, that this job, as much as we laugh and as much as we have fun, this job is definitely, there, but for the grace of God, go I.
Amen, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike, great show. Joe, great show, Joe. Great show. Joe, really awesome.
What the hell's wrong with
And
you?
Ruffy, you know what he was saying to me? What all the guys say before they come on the show.
What?
Oh, I don't know if I should be on the show. You had a lot of great guys.
Well, I still don't.
My face is killing me.
There's so many more guys who are better.
This is one of the
Very
funniest
funny.
shows, the best shows we've
I
had.
have to say,
The best.
every time it seems like the shows just keep.
Mm.
I don't know, just the guys get funnier and funnier, and better and better and better. It's good stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
Salute, kid.
You know what? Hey, thank you, brothers, for a nice evening. You know what?
Yeah.
And I enjoyed. Boom!
Boom!
Boom.
All right, you got any shout outs there, Ruffy?
I do. I have a very interesting shout out here. Peter, you got that picture for me?
I do, bro. I'm pulling
All right,
it
so
up
this
right
was an
now.
email that was sent in from Matt Flagler. All right.
Oh, how did you at the Coombs podcast? Where'd you get that? He sent it to you too?
He sent it to Getting Salty Experience.
Oh, he sent it to me too. All right,
Yeah.
go.
So I'll just read this real quick. So I've been listening to your show for several months now, and I really enjoy the content. At first, I just thought it was for laughs and fire stories, but then I heard your episode with Tilly, the respect, the sensitivity, the touching, the genuine, all that stuff. It's good. So I'm reaching out to you guys with a challenge for your audience. Come with me to Africa. I am part of an organization called Africa Fire Mission. I think that's the website, PD. We are everyday firefighters from all across the U.S. who provide training, equipment, and most of all, encouragement to African firefighters. The brothers and sisters in Africa are a lot like we are, devoted to the cause, fun to be with, and lacking in all the tools needed to do the job. However, there is one big difference. In many African countries, people distrust their broken government, and this includes firefighters as well. Let me see here. They're basically exhausted and discouraged. Our biggest task is to bring Firehouse Kitchen Table with us to these brothers and sisters so they can ignite the passion and grow their departments to new places. I recently returned from a trip to the nation of, I'm not even going to say it, where a small team of us spent holy Christ, did you see that, Pete? Spent the team 2 weeks training firefighters in the country. I've had the privilege to participate in this for several trips. I'm just trying to cut through it here a little bit. Here's the invitation. Come with us. We work to send 2 teams a year to various locations in Africa, and we are looking for lots of help. We'll have a team in Kenya in November and have space for a few more, but time is running out, so join today. We gladly welcome firefighters, agencies large and small, from firefighting agencies large and small. We have had a chief of a 2,000-member department with us and a Proby from a 20-man volley station. The biggest requirements are that you love the job and the ability to be flexible. We welcome everyone to check out our website at www.africamission.org, or our Facebook page is Africa Fire Mission. However, if you'd like me always, please, all right. We are also taking donations of fire equipment, PPE, helmets, boots, gloves, anything you have. You can get in touch with them through the website. If you can, please give us a shout out. I'm available to chat anytime. If you ever want to hear some African fire stories and tales from our trips, I can line up some guests if you ever need content. Thanks again for all you're doing. You have a solid product all the way around, brother. Thanks, Matt Flagler from Cincinnati, Ohio. He said, P.S. Retired guys are welcome. And P.S. I did not proofread this email once. I'm a fireman, not an English teacher.
Nice.
So
There you
check
go.
it out. If you're interested in doing something like that.
Ruffy, and Pete will go there. We'll be teaching them. Yeah, your old lady's box back.
I'm first to a ladies box.
After we get over the malaria first, then we'll be fine. Oh my
So
goodness.
if you're interested in something like that, I think it'd be pretty cool.
All right.
That's
So,
awesome.
Petey, take us out, Pete. What do you got?
Well, guys, as per normal, actually, I want to say something special. I really felt really welcomed at the Rock this past week. And all jokes and all bullshit aside, I really, really, really understand a lot better now the brotherhood, what it means, and the sense of pride. Because now I feel that sense of pride on my shoulders, just being a shithead producer on this show. No, really, I know that there's a lot of responsibility that I carry here, and I appreciate the opportunity by you guys to allow me to tell the stories here with you guys. So thank you, and I
Boom.
mean, my hat's
Boom, Mike. Boom.
My hat's off to the FDNY. I've never seen anything like that facility that I saw, and the kind of people that filled it. So thank you guys for taking me there, and I can't wait to edit that video. That should be out in the next week or so. Guys,
Oh, don't worry, we're gonna take you places, bro. We're going far. Oh yeah.
iTunes podcast, Spotify, or wherever fine audio podcasts are found is where you should go to listen to the audio version of this podcast. Okay, you're in the gym, you're driving, you want to ignore your wife for a couple of hours, turn this on, put in your headphones, and ignore away. All right, but if you're here on youtube.com/getting salty experience, take your filthy booger hook off the bang switch and hit the like, subscribe, and share button. Guys, at least subscribe. It's all free. Subscribe. What? It's free. Free? Did I say it was free? Free. It's free. Subscribe. Okay, guys. Also head on over to Salty Dog Inc. if you're on Instagram. If you like cool, old school, salty fire photos, it's a vibe. Check it out. And Lou also puts out all of the latest info for the show on there. GettingSaltyApparel.com, guys. That's one of the ways we get paid for, and you guys get cool apparel and the accessories. Thank you to all of our super chatters tonight. You guys really hit a home run for us as always. Guys, speaking of the chat, tonight was wild. There's already been protocols put in place. First of all, I got 4 more snipers on my team now. That's number one. And number two, I've already gone through filters and protocols during the whole show to not allow what happened in that chat again. It's a family. We're going to keep it a family. So thank you guys in the super chat. Guys, head on over to Facebook where you will find us at Getting Salty Fans. That's not our page per se. It's a page about the show. It's a fans page. Look at that. Look at
You might see that tomorrow.
You might see that tomorrow. And then on that Facebook page, you'll see, pictures of me looking depressed. I don't know why. You might find pictures of Kevin and Lou on a green screen where you guys can add in any background you want while they're doing this. I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
It could be done. Also, guys, if you want to email us any questions at the show, email it to gettingsaltyexperience@gmail.com. Guys, with all the extra editing we have going on, we're not doing Cup of Joe for, I think, probably another week. But if you have any questions for that, koobspodcast@gmail.com. That, my friends,
We'll be in Indy next week.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be in Indianapolis.
Right.
Me and Ruffy heading out to Indy next week.
On what day are you guys leaving? On Tuesday?
We're leaving Tuesday. We'll be there Tuesday. We'll be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
So we'll do one on Monday night, one for the road.
I would imagine. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. And then, all right.
Yeah.
Then cool. That gives us a break. And then I could really try to bang out that rock video, which is going to be
all
great.
Right. I'm going to say great job tonight, Pete, and throwing out the trash. That's all I'm saying.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, we don't like that stuff in here.
No,
I honestly, I can't. If I just went through the filters, just so you guys know, everybody in the audience as well, because everyone was really upset by what was going on in that chat.
Oh yeah.
And I went through the filters, and I had to type in words that I didn't think I would ever use.
Oh, so you can actually do that? All right, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, and I just want to let everyone know in the chat that I respect the chat a lot, and
well,
respect
you gotta learn.
the audience. So but it was taken care of, and it will continue to be taken care of if it comes a problem. So no worries on any of that, boys.
Mike, hell of a job. It was a pleasure looking into your life there, fella.
Thank you, and I enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Excellent.
Yes.
Just hang on. We're going to sign out, and we'll say our goodbyes in the back.
All right. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, stay low and go.
All right, everybody. We'll see you at the big one.
Cheers, brothers.